Okay, we are going to call Monday, November 13th, 2023 RCDC meeting to order. I'll do a quick roll call. Emily Doran here.
Colin Harvey here.
Brian Ryder mostly here.
Pat Sheehan here.
Barry Duckamber here.
Bobby Hempling here.
Awesome. Do we have any public comments online or here in person? Doesn't look like it, but nope. Okay, move forward. I'm going to go to the consent agenda, which is discussion and possible action on the minutes from the September 11th, 2023 meeting.
I have a couple of questions, and
Yes, sir.
the formal question is, why are these minutes being signed by Gavin as mayor instead of by you as chair?
I just changed that. That was an error.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. And then we had a couple of items on the minutes that said they were going to be followed up in the next meeting. At what point do we discuss those?
Well, so we didn't have the October meeting, right? So,
They're not, I'm not corrections, it's just number 4, Bobby asked for a legal opinion about setting up a foundation, and number 5, Colin had asked for how we were gonna pursue figuring out what land we owned and didn't own, which
Yeah.
seems to me to be a.
yeah, those will come up.
We need to follow those.
Yeah, yeah, they're going to come up
We'll
in,
just bring those up when
Yes.
when it's appropriate,
yes, please.
and that's all I had.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move approval with the correction of the signature of the presiding officer to be Emily instead of Gavin.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it with that caveat. Making
Okay.
sure that's on there.
I'm sure your signature is going to be very valuable today.
I mean, it
someday,
might.
Just like
One
Abraham
day.
Lincoln or
Yeah,
whatever.
right, exactly. Thanks, Brian.
I want one.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Okay, regular agenda. So this is discussion and possible action on RCDC resolution on the 2023-11-1303, amending the fiscal year 2023-2024 RCDC budget to add a line of $50,000 for future park projects.
This is that 50,000 that we discussed at the previous meeting. So this resolution here would allow you to have that as a placeholder on your agenda. Anything that later wanted to come out of that 50,000 would still have to go through the project process. So this would just be kind of earmarking it in your budget, and then later, if y'all approve some kind of park project, we would do kind of like the next item 4 has for the retaining wall. We would do a similar resolution for that. So this just makes it clear in your budget that that's what y'all have set it aside for.
I think that's appropriate for what we discussed last time.
It's about 20 to 25% of our budget
Right.
annually.
Yeah, I think it matches our discussion.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we just need a motion
Move approval.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Great.
We did something. Oh, well, we haven't spent it yet.
Okay.
It's a line about a line.
It's a line about a line about a line, right. Next one here is the public hearing discussion and possible action on RCDC Resolution 2023-11-1304, authorizing funding for a park improvement project in Rollingwood Park for retaining wall improvements that would enhance recreational and community facilities pursuant to Texas local government code section code section 501.153. So this was from Kevin bless you. Kevin Glasheen, and Phil McDuffie came to us about the retaining wall and presented it. I know there was some conversation about, we had one bid, we kind of talked briefly about, should we put sort of some guardrails on how we want that moving forward, which,
Was this the 31,000-ish?
yes.
Didn't it-
Right,
did-
Phil?
Didn't they get disproved by the
Okay.
city
Yeah, it
council?
And it was
went above-
approved
it went
by
before
city
council,
council,
and
but
they
it has to come back to us.
Right. So this actually, it kind of got put on hold at the city council
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
They had just said they wanted to get a full proposal of how that was going to affect the drainage before doing it. And so what this is just here, this is y'all funding it. And so this is y'all saying that, hey, if you want to do that, we've already talked about it, we've approved it on our end. If the city council decides to move forward with it, then we will fund it.
Right.
And this would come out of that
The
50,000.
50,000, correct.
So if this, y'all would approve it here, or if you do, we will take it on to city council, and at that point, they can either wait until they have further clarification on the drainage situation, or in the end, they could just, they don't have to approve it, and it just wouldn't happen.
And
So-
just for clarity's sake, because I might have fallen asleep at that meeting. How, what was the hang up on city council? Was it, I know drainage was an issue, but was there something else? Phil, do you recall, or Ashley?
All,
I remember thinking that they just wanted a comprehensive drainage plan
Okay,
and
that's what I
not
thought.
just
Right.
to.
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
So
Okay.
that's all it was.
Okay.
And then as far as the how it's procured, this would just be you guys funding it for the city. They would then be required to follow all procurement laws
Right.
as far as, you know,
Yeah.
making sure they got the appropriate number of bids and things like that.
Yeah,
And did we ever ask the park commission, is that this what they want, 60% of their spending to go on for this year?
I believe
I
they
don't know, there
have,
was a park commission suggestion. that
discussed it
Gavin
and
had
approved
wanted it.
no, but what was
It was
the,
Kevin Glasheen's, I think.
no, but the gal that was here, and forgive me,
Yeah.
Victoria.
Victoria, right? Yes, that came.
No, they discussed it in one of their meetings.
Yeah, at the last park commission meeting.
Phil, do you want to go up to the mic? Yeah.
My recollection is at the last park commission meeting, there was a vote on it and it did pass.
Okay.
And it was approved.
Okay, that's what I thought so too. Okay. I think the only thing I would like us to just, since we're in this discussion mode, is with these projects that come forth, not that we're gonna be picky about it, right? But that we at least have more than one bid for the work. I think that that is important.
Totally agree.
We just need to make sure as a group that we all agree to that, because I know it was just, it was someone that Mr. Glasheen knew, which is great, did good work, I get it, but I think if we're gonna move forward with these projects, I think it'd be helpful to have at least more than one, but that's just my,
Well,
But-
it has to be offered publicly, Bobby. And how many bids you get in depends on. the
Sure,
response.
but I think that's the clarification, is that it goes to the city council. They have to follow procurement law, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
sure.
But it-
I don't want to force extra work.
Right.
I'm glad that it's
Yeah.
part of the process.
isn't it $50,000?
If it's less than 50,000, there are some other requirements. It doesn't have to be competitively bid, but
That's
it
right.
needs to
Right.
be, you need to contact,
Multiple.
additional
Okay,
sources. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's going to fall under those rules.
Yeah, as long as it
Whatever
follows the
way-
rules,
doesn't
I'm
matter
Then,
fine.
yes, okay,
That
okay,
sounds great.
great. Okay, so I just need a motion. Oh, sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Just to add a little clarity to that, because I do think it matters at times. So, we had the one bid. I met with two other contractors, walked them through what we were doing. One of them never got us a bid, and the second one got us a bid, and it was higher, significantly higher. I think it was around 50 grand. So that's where we're at right now. We will obviously follow all the laws with procurement and all that kind of thing, and get however many bids we need to get.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at. We did make an attempt, and that was me basically doing a Google search and then talking to wall people and getting everybody that I was able to find who was willing to even come out and meet. So, and the result of all that was we got one other bid. And I got told a lot about how they don't like coming out and giving bids.
Oh.
So anyway,
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay,
On that note, too, this is posted for public hearing, so we'll need to open the public hearing and then let the public speak if they're here, and then close
oh,
it.
that's right,
just
thank
for,
you.
yeah, staff
Okay,
report.
yes, so we'll open it up for public hearing on item number 4. If there's any at 12:09. Any comments here in person or online? Okay, closing it at 12:09. Okay. Okay, so now just need the possible action piece of this, so we need a motion.
I move that we allocate $31,000 to fund the wall, to work on the drainage in the main park.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Great. Okay, number 5, discussion and possible action to support the beautification project and welcome entrances to the city of Rollingwood. So this is something I put on the agenda. Really want to use it as just to start talking through as we're working towards enhancing the commercial corridor. I had a chat with Mayor Massengill this morning and previously before, just to kind of see if this would be something that would be an appetite for council. So really want to use today to kind of talk through The Edge Grove beautification project, I think looks great. I know it's not done yet, but it's a really nice sort of that entrance, cleaning it up, making it look welcoming. And could we think about, as we are enhancing the commercial corridor, the celebrated entrances at the McDonald's, then the one that is, oh gosh,
Mopac.
thank you. Edge Grove, the McDonald's, and the other end of Rollingwood Drive. And that we use this as like a multi-year project, where we look at, it's not just plants, but like, what do we want that to look like? Is there better lighting for those areas? And just, again, just wanted to start that conversation with the group today.
So, just out of curiosity, go ahead.
Yeah, and then just one last thing is that Mayor Massengill and I talked about it, is that we would sort of be the impetus to get it started, so to seed the project, and that his goal would be that in the future that the council would take this project, these sort of projects on. There is a line item already in the budget for the Edge Grove project that he started last year, and so this would be kind of put into that same piggy bank moving forward, if that's something that we want to consider. So that's my initial pitch.
We built those planters like 8 years ago.
Yep, the women's club,
Yeah,
correct.
but I mean, we paid for them. Did they?
Yeah, they
Okay.
did. Phil's right.
All right. So we got those 2 planters that were done, that were nice.
Mm-hmm.
And is the women's club kept up with putting plants in them? Or who has?
My recollection.
Somebody
know.
did.
When those were installed, succulents were put in them. I think maybe the winter freeze, they look a little rough right now. They could use some love and replanting probably. I don't know. I haven't looked at them recently, but I imagine that's what happened, is that the hard freeze killed off those succulents. So they could use a spruce. I can't speak for the women's club. I'm the wrong gender, but I think they're a generous lot, and they would probably be more than willing to do that. And if they're not willing to do it, we can find other people that would probably be willing to do that. But I do agree with the mayor's initiative to try to do some kind of, comprehensive plan of what are we doing. But those are already there. They're at the they're at Edge Grove. They're at the end of Rollingwood Drive, and they could look great. So
Yeah, agreed. So, go ahead.
So
Colin.
yes, I just, one question. So, totally agree that it's awesome that we're doing stuff back in the Edge Grove, but and I think we should help with this. I think that's a great idea too. But it's weird to me, like doing that versus maybe having a comprehensive plan. It's like that.
For signage you're talking about?
No. I'm talking specifically about like where Mayor Massengill has started to do that project behind, basically behind Eanes Creek, but between that and the commercial corridor at Edge Grove. Have you seen like the trees that are being planted there? And there's some stone that's been staged back there. So headed in the right direction for sure. And now that it's been cleared and you start to see some of the greenery, you start to see the space that's back there, and you start to see a little bit of the art of the possible that can be things that we do that don't mean that we have to wait on the development of the rest of the commercial corridor to start to make these areas look better, and would probably have a little bit of the start to attract them. And so I'm trying to figure out, as we discuss this topic of, how do we be helpful to this, like how do we attach that to a comprehensive plan? Because there's several areas like that. The planners would fall in this category. That area would. It goes on for a little while. That where the land question comes into play.
Right.
So I don't. It's like I feel weird that in some cases we have like 19 meetings, about a 10-foot wall, and it's like, bam, let's start redoing behind Eanes Creek, and we can just do it. And so, like, that's awesome. How do we do everything like that?
Well, the city did that.
Right.
That's
Well, who
it.
cares? I just,
I don't-
yeah.
but the city, that's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
No, I understand from a funding standpoint, but I just want to be additive to it and let's
Right.
keep going.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand other
So-
than I understand the funding differences.
Does the work that's been done, Colin, define the property in some way? Last time we had Gavin and we, who was here, and we talked about doing a survey of that area so that he could show it to the adjacent owners. And we've got the holdover note on the minutes about identifying the property. Does that?
Right.
I mean, what?
Great question.
It seems to me that if there is a good reason to identify the property.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm sort of making the assumption, what's different between when we had this conversation and today is that project started, and I'm just making a common sense assumption that we must have that data somewhere and Gavin must be following it, you know, or, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is like of the ownership of the property, is that what we're?
Well, we were all just having a general discussion to Brian's point on, hey, and Bobby had brought it up as well. It's like as it relates to that land back there, do we know exactly what Rollingwood
Where the
owns,
line is,
starts and
yeah.
stops, and
Sure.
all that kind of
I
stuff?
think back there we're pretty clear, at least maybe not like how far it goes back, but to the extent that it has been used in the past, I think we're pretty clear on that specific area. And I did want to say, Bobby did follow up on how we're going to get that information about additional, you know, things we own or easements and things like that. And I let him know we actually just got approved this budget year to do a kind of a comprehensive review of all of our easements and all of our plats. And so that's something we're about to start. So that's really going to be when that's going to come into play. A lot of it we won't know unless we go do research with the county and find out what's there, because we're not the authority on plats. That's with the county. So we always have to get those there. And we're trying to get them all in-house and filed in our GIS system. So that will give us a much better idea. But as far as ownership, that's the only plot we actually own. And I don't think there currently are additional, you know, easements or right-of-way at the back of those properties that the city has already secured. But we'll find out if they were done by plat. We'll know once we get that research completed.
So can I ask really quick, for purposes of the planter boxes on Rollingwood and Edgewood, are those located just within right of way, or does the city have separate easement for those, as far as looking for the EDC to be able to either, you know, monument signage or improvements or something of that nature?
That we would have to look into. I know the one on Edge Grove, that is, the city has right of way there. The other two, I'm not 100% sure. I would think they're in the city's right of way at the edge of the street, but something to find out. So
I hope that was looked into when we built them.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
We started on the wrong side of the street. They wanted to build it on the other side of the street,
Which one?
on Edge Grove.
Oh, okay.
And they found out we didn't own that, and they had to move it to the other side.
So somebody did pay some attention.
Yeah, with those houses.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
But that plat study should help us with that kind of information too, because it will pull the plats for all of the, you know, the residential areas there. So we'll know where their property line ends and where ours begins.
Okay. Any
So the
other
next
comments
steps.
or thoughts? And
Is that an action item or just?
we
a
don't have to. No,
discussion?
it was just really to just
Well, I
start.
hope I didn't derail the original question, which is how much
No.
should we get involved in
Yeah.
some of this stuff, is right?
Yeah, and I think from my conversation with Mayor Massico this morning, the beautification project is sort of set and they're good with. But if we wanted to take on thinking through the celebrated entrances and supporting that effort, he said he would welcome that conversation moving forward. So
Just
not-
my opinion would
Yeah.
be that's more of a women's club and or city council thing. It's not going to drive revenue for the
Yeah.
city, which is what I feel like we tried to say that's what we're here
Mm-hmm.
for. And just doing nickel and dime projects like that don't really drive any revenue. I wouldn't.
I would just wonder whether this would include signage on BK Road that would be a part of what the retail coach might want to do about attracting business, though. I mean, I don't know what the
Sure.
scope of what we're discussing is really.
I think it's open. That's a
yeah,
great question.
that is definitely open for sure.
But if it was.
Then it would fall under
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that was my
Yeah,
that was my initial thought process, is that it would be something we'd work on with Aaron Farmer and the retail coach on, you know, how do we
I don't know whether there's any
enhance that to make
need
it.
or benefit to retail signage out there, Bobby, or city signage to the retail area, but if there were, that's in our area.
Then I
Yeah.
would say it's within our scope.
That's an interesting question, Brian. I was just in Napa this past week, and in a couple of different towns. Granted, that's over the top, but just as different examples.
It's not that much over the top actually compared to here.
What's that?
It's not that much over the top.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I mean, it's
no,
an
that's-
Apple. I mean, Napa's 20,000 people. It's not a big city.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And
High real estate value.
Yeah.
Few like little intricate little shops and stuff, but otherwise, Not different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So anyway, the observation I just wanted to share was that in a couple of the different towns in that group, like St. Helena and Yountville and that stuff, they each have like along the street this very distinctive look of like you know you're in
Yep.
Yountville.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that would be an interesting thing that would be not as crazy as, you know, we don't have $200 million to, you know, have people come in and build stuff.
Yeah.
But we could start to make, you know, you're in Rollingwood.
The uniqueness of Rollingwood, right? Yeah. I mean, I
It's a thought.
think it's a great thought.
Okay.
Really, this was just to sort of spearhead the initial conversation of just, we can think through more ideas. I have not approached Aaron Farmer about it with Retail Coach. I wanted us as a group to decide if this is something to pursue and think more about.
I mean, I don't, it's just that point. I don't, we are about the same size as Yountville, actually. Real estate value probably closer to the same.
Yeah,
But
true.
we don't have the little downtown, the little market they have there, you know, with all the little, you know, Michelin star restaurants. But I mean, when you go through there, I mean, you do go through Yountville, Selena, and so on, Napa, and it just keeps going. And so, I mean, if we could, even this is something where maybe we should reach out to Wesley Hills at least in that corridor and see if we can have like this kind of, you know, cascade effect of like just knowing that you're in this like little nice market. I mean, maybe that's something we could look into.
I mean, the interesting thing about it is as I got in a conversation with this random person, but 20 years ago, it didn't even remotely look like
Yep.
Right.
what we're referring to. So this is very possible. It's a little different, like you said. It's not the same downtown structure, but
I mean, they have a little 2-lane drag or 3-lane drag that drives through the whole thing. So I mean, we have
Right.
5 lanes, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not.
I don't know. But maybe what we've gotten to is with like Bobby's point is like, hey, if it starts to come into like
Yeah.
maintenance of some existing stuff, our
That's not-
markings, we're not so
Right.
much interested.
Right.
But if it's getting closer to the commercial corridor, those types of things are of interest.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Well-
also happen to intersect Austin a little bit through there, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you all are okay, I'm happy to visit with Aaron Farmer just
Yeah.
to see what that would look like. And he gives his apologies. He could not come to this meeting. There are some updates that he will share with us with the December meeting, which we can talk through. But positive conversations are happening. There's still tons of restaurants that want to come here. Navigating that of the space piece, which we all know is the issue, and that we've talked about, which is why he wants to come in December, is that we would have a he called it, I guess we call it the open house, right? Where we would invite people that he really wants to target that for January, February timeframe with us. So that's that. Okay. So the action here would be that I would just go back and visit with Retail Coach for more details to come back to you all about. Okay. Do I need a motion for that? No. Okay. I didn't think so. Okay. Moving on, number 6, discussion of intent to continue to serve on the Rollingwood Community Development Corporation. So I talked to a few people. I didn't get to talk to everyone, but Ashley, do you want to?
Oh, I was just gonna point out that the list in your packet shows when everybody's terms expire. This year we have Emily, David Smith, Pat, and Brian. Those terms are ending in 2023. That's it. So basically, we would just need a verbal from everybody, and we'll take this the list on to City Council, and they can reappoint as one big wave. So
Yeah. So I talked to David this morning, and the Monday timeframes at noon are very hard for him logistically. So he really would like to continue serving. He sends his apologies for not being able to come on Mondays at noon. And if we as a group are open to moving them to after hours, he would be able to continue on, meaning 5:30. If we as a group are okay with that.
I'm not.
I have no issue.
I mean, so personally, since we've, you know, we started this time during COVID, it's
Yeah.
much easier after the fact, like every other council. It's much easier for me personally to make it as well. I mean, this summer has been a challenge. I would like to see us get more towards like a after-hour schedule, but I mean, again, that's up to the body. But
Yeah.
I think my personal standpoint is it would be easier to make it after.
Not too late, but
No,
But,
5:30.
no, like,
I mean,
yeah.
we're pretty good about staying in within the hour.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it.
I would do Mondays at 5:30
Yeah.
if need be.
Or does it need to come off a Monday altogether? Do you
No,
know? I'll just.
We used to do Wednesdays, and then we moved to Mondays
I know
when
Wednesdays
COVID
was-
happened.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
so we had some flexibility during the week. It used to be Wednesdays at 5:30, and then it changed, and then, you know, COVID happened and everything went to hell. So, but
I know.
as we all, I mean, I think most of us have transitioned, maybe not all of us, but as we transitioned from remote to
Back to
some
the
type
office.
of hybrid,
Yeah.
it's tough. And we're all, I mean, no one's getting paid here, so,
You're not?
You're not?
I mean, I'm not, I don't
Well,
know. Maybe someone
You
else
signed
is.
the wrong contract.
But also, like, there's others, you know, others to speak. So, I mean, like, Pat's been here, you know, for
Yeah,
quite some
I
time.
mean, I
so-
prefer noon, and I think for the city staff, making them stay late is, and when we can do it at noon, we should do it at noon. We've always done it at noon.
I have no preference. I can do either.
I think we have to actually make it an agenda item in order to vote. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up to the group.
Yeah.
So we'll have that as the agenda item for December.
Can we also get like city input, or like, I mean, like collectively, like, you know, what works for everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, is that,
Absolutely.
Bring availability back.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Variety of
That was something David asked me to share
Yeah,
with the
no,
group.
I mean,
So
and to me, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's just a matter of figuring out schedules. I mean,
Yes.
if we don't do it during the middle of the day, we could also maybe, like, if one of us have to leave, I mean, like, or like, you know, not serve anymore. Like this summer with stuff, I was close to like not being able to serve for a variety of reasons. I mean, that would be easier for probably someone to step in if we were not doing work hours. I mean, that's just I think a logistic thing to think about.
I think if we're going to start doing more stuff, which we've already done more
Yeah.
today in a while,
Yeah.
people are going to want to comment if we're spending
Yeah.
money and doing things.
yeah. Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda item for the December meeting.
Yeah.
Sounds
Are
good.
we gonna put a date that we're going to vote on, or are we just gonna put it on the
No,
agenda?
if you all could send Desiree your availability preferences,
Okay.
then we will go from there, matching with the city preference.
And then the other thing, so Ashley, sorry, or whoever can speak on this, what have the other like councils or committees, have they moved back to more of a traditional evening time, or are they still? No, they're all still this time.
Park Commission is still during the day, the other ones are all still in the evening, but a lot of them have moved up. So Utility Commission's at 5:30 now as opposed to 7. Planning and Zoning's at 6, so they are trying to kind of get away from that 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
time.
I don't think
We
7. I mean,
appreciate a lot.
Yeah, I don't
No,
want
it's
to.
7, no.
I would prefer not to be at 7. I was thinking more like inching in closer to end of day, like end of
Yeah.
work day, not 7 o'clock.
Or
That's
could
not
we do Monday mornings, or is that
Oh,
too
yeah, even
onerous
like-
for people to get their
I mean,
day
yeah, let's
started?
send
Like-
that as an
If you
availability.
could
Do
bring
them-
Bloody Marys and coffee.
Now
But if
we're
we did it
talking.
Monday at 8, that would be easy, because you come in here, get
I
your
know.
hour started,
I
and
know.
then
Yeah,
hustle
you go.
on out.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, just
Yeah,
doing stuff
just-
because like you're already like starting your day. And
I know. So just send your availability to Desiree and we'll add that to the next agenda item. Okay.
Does everyone?
oh, sorry.
Do we have like everybody want to continue to serve? That
Oh,
we at
Yes.
yes,
least
Brian,
have
would you
this
like to,
year?
Mr. Ryder, would you like to continue to serve?
Yeah, I'll continue and then we'll talk about the win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Everybody good?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Great. Thank you.
Everyone's moving forward. Okay, number 7, RCDC financials through September of 2023. And then also, I'm just going to put in number 8, which is the RCDC financials through October of 2023. So,
September marks year end, is that correct? So that- That's
Fiscal year.
the
the
fiscal year end.
fiscal year, right?
As far as the 22-23 fiscal year is concerned, the sales tax is kind of tailed off toward the end of the fiscal year. And so we started out great, but toward the end of the year kind of tailed off. So we didn't quite make what we had collected the prior year, not by much, but we were a little bit short for the year. And for the current year of starting 23-24, for October, our sales tax collection, we're a little bit above average. But then again, that's the way it started last year, so we don't know. And as far as how much cash the corporation has, at the end of October in cash at the bank, we have $155,000 approximately. And at Texpool, you all have about $336,000 available.
Wonderful.
And as far as Texpool is concerned, you can transfer wire money in and out the same day.
Right.
So in case the project comes up, you'll need some cash, above what you have at the bank, you can make the transfers.
Awesome.
Bobby can make the transfers.
Yes, Bobby's in charge of that. Thank
Any
you.
That pool
questions?
got put in your house, huh?
Mm-hmm. Works out really well.
I'm just joking. There were no pool put in Bobby's house. Just the record.
That was just a joke, Damon.
That's his paycheck he's talking about. Okay. Anybody have any questions for?
Any
Abel?
ideas why the sales tax revenue
No, sir.
varied so much between,
No, sir.
okay.
I would say it's hot and nobody was spending money here. They were outside.
Well, but no, October's like 19,000.
Yeah, right. And, I
That's-
believe last year started out the same way.
Did-
Toward the
okay.
end of summer, tailed off, and then the fall it picked up again.
Yeah.
All right.
Santa's coming to town, so I'm sure that's a part of it.
School supplies, maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So completely, actually, random question about this. So the Eden's Education Fund is actually having a thing in the park. Do we get? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant for this. Do we get any proceeds from that? No. Okay, didn't think so. The park, nobody. The city gets nothing.
No, sir.
Like that's all like full on generosity.
Has to
Okay.
go to the state controller's office, from there it comes back to us.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just asking. I mean, they're using the parks. Didn't know if, like the baseball. Yeah,
Yeah.
just didn't know. There's no point of contention.
what are
Just
they doing?
curious. There's going to be like a Home
fun.
Alone on. Is going to be like it's awesome actually. It's a. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. And the park. They're going to have like Home Alone with
Play the
fucking,
movie.
Play
yeah,
the movie at night.
Yeah.
Oh, a movie
Popcorn, that kind of stuff. It's great. It's like what the parks were used for. I just didn't know if
night. Okay.
Great.
anything came of that. Nope. Cool.
Okay. If that's it, I will adjourn the meeting at 12:32. This is a record. Thank you. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.